Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to EDCI 503. I'm Dr. Trish. I'm looking forward to the class, and I think we have about 20. I should have just checked. And from different, and all pursuing slightly different degrees. So discussions should be interesting. So the purpose of this welcome is just to basically go over the course. But first I'll tell you a little bit about myself. For those who don't know me, sorry, trying to adjust my seat. This will begin my, this summer begins my 21st year here at Nichols, which is hard to believe. And I've been teaching a curriculum class for quite a while, probably over 10 years now. I enjoy this class. This is my area. My research is in curriculum. Basically, my CNI degree is in curriculum theory. And so I'll be bringing some different perspectives to how one could understand curriculum. Some new ways, I think. So I'm going to put up an outline. And the first thing I want to do is go over parts of the syllabus. So I'll stick that up. You can ignore the office hours. As I said in the email, I will be on campus on Monday. I don't think they really want us on campus that much. We have to go through some procedures to be on campus. I will probably be back on campus the following week, maybe the 11th. I have a meeting. I don't know if that meeting will be virtual or not. So it could very well be virtual, or we could have it on campus. So we'll see. I will let you know. So if you need to meet with me, we can meet virtually. We can set up an appointment by emailing me. We can use Zoom, which is what I'm using now. Or we could use FaceTime if you have an Apple phone. Or we could just use good old telephone. And so just email me to set up an appointment, and we can do that. And we can meet. I'm pretty well open so that we can meet. If you're on campus and want to come by and see me when I'm there, that would be great. I think the people that are most likely to be on campus are the higher ed, not necessarily. And so if the higher ed folks majoring in higher ed leadership want to come chat with me about the course and how it may apply to you, since you're not a traditional teacher, we can work that out. It's important to me that we, with the higher ed folks, that we create scenarios so that they can be successful and apply curriculum concepts to what they may be doing in terms of their career. So I'm very open to adjusting assignments for you in that way. So the office number may be somewhat irrelevant. You call and leave me a message. I mean, there's a chance it may be 2 weeks before I get there. I would assume I will be there, as I said, this next week and the following week. After that, I may not be back. So we have the books. I sent you information about the books. I've gotten some an email about the delivery times, you know. So I ordered a book through abebooks.com. Took about a week, even though it was the 5 to 14 days or whatever the spread is. I think that's just trying to give them some cushion. So particularly for a book, it shouldn't take much more than that. And I think if you order now, you'll have all the books in time. That part. And, the rest of this is purpose of the course, and we talk about, a little thing about the conceptual framework, which continues to be responsible leaders engaging in professional practice. I think this is a very key framework for all the majors that are in this class, because as a graduate student, once you have your master's, you should see yourself as a school leader, whether you're in leadership per se or not. Disability statement. If you have a disability, a documented disability, you can share that information with me. This is not an issue for me in any way, shape, or form. Academic integrity, important. Any grievances, if you have one. We're an online class, so the emergency procedures aren't really that applicable. Certainly, we could, it is theoretically possible we could be displaced by a hurricane even in June, although that's very unlikely. So we're generally an asynchronous course, meaning that traditionally this course does not have live meetings. Although I will, with Zoom, I will attempt, and I'll let you know, to have a live meeting, although that will not be mandatory. But it would be great if, when I set up that schedule, when we particularly talk about the readings, for you to attend through Zoom. Because I think one of the things that is missed out on the recorded discussions that I've used over the years is that immediate question and live interaction. So, because your questions can generate, a different level of knowledge on the reading for others, and it gives me a chance to explain things. And so whether you're able to do live or not, by having, if you watch the recording later, you can get more out of it because your fellow students have questions for you. So there's a blurb on reflective practice, which basically this course asks you to engage in reflective practice. It's a key component of the final project, but the glosses in themselves are reflective writings in many different ways. And I'll explain the gloss in a second. So attendance, I'll follow attendance through your login into Moodle. The university has become more sensitive to this. So you will get an email from me if you hadn't logged in. I'm assuming because of COVID, that those of you who might have gone off to the beach for a week won't be doing so. May be wrong in that. And that's fine. And just let me know in case you run into difficulties with internet access. If you have internet access, I mean, you could do this in Antarctica if you have internet access. So, and that's all fine. Course goals. Okay, those are the course goals. You can look through those. So there are 3 readings outside of the 2 books. You will write glosses on the readings. And basically the gloss is, and I have some instructions in Portfolio, but it's a critical summary, you could say. And when I say critical, it means you have to interject your voice. You have to interject your ideas as you talk about the reading and how that reading may apply to you, or how you, through your experience, you recognize some of the ideas in the reading. Okay? And again, all these are on curriculum. So higher ed folks, I don't know, yet what your jobs are on campus or what you hope to become, but think of any workplace experience. And if you're a coach, then coaching is certainly teaching, and you could apply that. So if I go back down to the notes, the 3 readings are the reading on a guy named Gabriel Harvey. I wrote, it's a paper that I wrote. And the reason we read this, it provides a touch of historical background, but because he's from the 16th century. But he provides, I think, the way I talk about Harvey in the essay is gives you a different way to think about curriculum outside of what you've been given, particularly through your school experience. So that's the Harvey reading. That'll be first. The reading by my major professor, Bill or William Dahl, on keeping knowledge alive. Again, all these readings are about giving you ways to think about the curriculum, think about the classroom, how and what you teach. Because curriculum, I mean, we talk about curriculum and instruction as if they're 2 different things sometimes, but the truth is they are fundamentally integrated. And curriculum, as you will discover, really goes beyond even this classroom or school. Ted Aoki is the final author. There are 2 essays you'll read, a single gloss for the 2 essays. Hopefully I can get my conversations about Aoki's essays in a single presentation. I've been known to have to do 2. I have to admit, I tend to like to talk. The key thing to keep in mind is as you read the Jardine, Frazan, and Clifford book, these 3 are Canadian curriculum scholars who were all 3 students at the University of British Columbia of Ted Aoki, who now, I think Jardine is retired, the last I heard. They've taught at the University of Alberta. And I find these authors have a way of taking theoretical concepts and applying them in a way that they're understandable within a classroom setting. The discussion boards are all based upon the 2 books. James Paul G's What Video Games Have to Teach Us About Learning and Literacy, and the Jardine et al. Book, Curriculum in Abundance. The discussion prompts are all loaded into Moodle. You are asked to, reply to the prompt, and then with as many as we have in the class, I would like you to respond for each prompt to 3 of your classmates. It's important to try to get your discussion boards in the time period that's laid out in the syllabus. I believe it's about a week or so. So, you need to be reading as we go, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Your 2 projects are a curriculum vision. There are guidelines. I believe that is in, let's see. I believe the guidelines for all 3, and you probably are, I don't know if you're seeing Moodle right now, but they're in topic 8. So anyway, so the vision is the simpler of the 2. It's worth 100 points. It's 4 paragraphs. You want to cover each of the requirements for each paragraph. That's the vision. And the final is the big curriculum project, which is a curriculum development project, curriculum evaluation. It goes by a number of different names. What's important here is the curriculum compacting process that the project is based upon, and there are readings on this in Moodle, is a differentiation project. So it's very important today, particularly in the age of prescribed curricula, prescribed lessons, that we're able to differentiate for the individual students in our class to meet their needs. Some students in our class, need one thing, others need something else. Teaching the same way and expecting all the same things from your class is probably not serving them, all of them, well. And you probably know that. And you need to find ways to help the slower learners along, and to give the quicker learners, the more advanced learners, some challenges going forward. So this is the purpose. I am maybe along this line, I'm waiting for a friend of mine to send me something to PowerPoint that I think I will put in, that I want you to take a look at to help you with the development. So there's no additional assignment other than taking a look at this PowerPoint, which I'm assuming, if I get it, when I get it, and I choose to use it. But it gives you a way to think about differentiation and the opportunities, as Bill Dahl would say, to keep knowledge alive, even within the constrained curriculum space, which is what we're facing generally. All assignments ultimately will be submitted in Portfolio. All the Portfolio is linked in Moodle. So all you do is click on the link and you'll be brought to your Portfolio account. There may be, many of you are first-time students. So there may be things you will need to do to activate the portfolio, but it should be pretty much self-explanatory. I've not seen any problems with the portfolio software. So, and you will submit. The beauty is I get a grade sheet in portfolio, and there's an ease. And in my other history philosophy class, the student who had me in the spring has already submitted 2 glosses. So some people are well on their way. Let's see, I'm going to go back to the syllabus real quick. And you'll see the values, if you will. So there are 2 sets of discussion forums, 3 prompts in each for the 2 books. So that's probably 300 points rather than 350. So it'd be 50 points per prompt. So I will need to change that. You see the vision is 100 points, and the field experience, the unpacking is, the curriculum project is 300 points, and that is considered a field experience. I will be going over this more so for the projects. There's a video that is up, but I'll probably be changing it because I'm trying to do new videos this summer. But you can certainly look at the old ones before I change them out. With those of you who are teaching, who have been teaching, whether it's in a regular classroom or like student teaching, you can base this project on your spring class that you taught. For the higher ed folks, this is what we may need to talk about a bit in terms of how to structure this project to fit your immediate situation. Okay. Follow the assignments as you see them in the syllabus. Moodle doesn't flow in the same way. So, and you see here the time periods for the discussion boards. You have 6 days for both, I think. In the vision and the project. You'll see in Portfolium, don't be confused, there's a due date in Portfolium. That is basically your drop dead date. So all things would need to be in Portfolium, assuming you have some delay by the morning of June 26th, which is the day grades are due. So that's in a sense your drop dead day. Please try to maintain, keep pace with the schedule for your own benefit. If you get behind at all, it's very difficult to catch up when we have, basically 26 days in the course. The assumption here is I do give you a break. We normally would have 4 readings. So I do give you that break. And but the assumption here is you have time. I don't know if there is any of you are doing any types of teaching over the summer, given the COVID situation. But if you think time could be an issue, please let me know. And I know some of you are taking both my classes, so make sure you schedule your time wisely enough. And you really need to be reading every day. This is not, we usually come to school thinking in terms of homework. I talked to my sophomores about this a little bit when I taught how to study in college course at LSU. So yeah, I went to LSU. Then we would talk about this, and you need to think of it not as homework but as study. And so you give a consistent time, a daily, and if what I would argue, and I think it still holds for grad students, there's enough time generally in the week, particularly since if you're not teaching, not working, that you can get everything done and have the weekend for yourself. If you're working, that's a different situation. I mean, raising kids and all those good things do happen and come up. And so I appreciate that. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me an email. I'm always available. I try to respond. I mean, if I get an email at 9:30 at night, I'm probably not going to respond to the next day. But certainly, if you feel like you need to send it to me, send it to me. That's okay. I'll get back to you in the morning. So, because in our world, in our social media world today, we're all we're all connected and connected too often all day. So anyway, that is, oh no, don't tell me. Okay, good. Concerned. So that's it. I will send an email out about a time. Go back to the syllabus real quick. You see, for that first assignment, I can't believe I did that. Thought I changed all these things. Okay, wherever it says live text, it's meant to say portfolio. I did not fix that from last semester. I apologize. So you see there the gloss is due June 7th for the first gloss. So I look at my calendar real quick. Probably I'm thinking either next Wednesday or Thursday, and I'll send an email. I will do a live video that you can join in if you're available. It will probably be after 12:30, but not much later than that. Maybe 1 is usually the time, because my wife uses the computer for her job. She's working from home still. And we have a single computer that we share in the mornings. So to make sure that we have enough time. Anyway, okay. So that's all I have. And I look forward to taking a look at your work and looking at your ideas, which I learned from very much. Thank you.